So participants, let's move on to the next session. It will be a hands-on session on heat of reactions. Okay. So these are I'm not sure if you really do this experiment in the real CBSE syllabus, if it is there or anybody does, but it's a excellent concept on how heats of reactions can be calculated. The enthalpy of neutralization actually is explained in this tutorial. So please go to your again side by side method and take out the heats of reaction, click on the heats of reaction tutorial and open your virtual lab and do it side by side. Okay, yeah, and we have a practice problem and a demo session also. Okay, so I'll share my participants. Have you started the heat of reaction learning side by side? Okay, good. Yeah, I can share Dr. Rama's slides with you all. I'll put in the same folder, which I am sharing with you all. I have given you the link. So by end of today, whenever Dr. Rama shares with me, I will put it. Okay. The problem for his heat of reaction, the practice problem in the slide. Yeah. Please do the practice problem. I have posted the problem, and I'm going to demonstrate also the problem in another 10 minutes. So please try. Whoever has finished, please try to do the practice problem. And if you can share your screen, and then at the end of the session, if you can demonstrate that problem, I'll be very happy. Otherwise, I will demonstrate. So people, yeah, some of you have finished the practice problem also. Can anyone share the screen and demonstrate the practice problem? Anyone interested? Can someone do? So I'll be happy if someone from among you, is interested in demonstrating this. So if not, I will do it. But I think I have to allow people time to finish the tutorial. Yes, I will do the demonstration after 5 minutes. Okay. Let all of you, I will let all of you to finish the side-by-side learning of the tutorial. Yeah, foam cup will not hold 250 ml. You have to take a bigger beaker or a little more. Yeah, you cannot use foam cup here. Yes. Yeah, temperature. You need to insulate it. Anki. Yeah, you need to insulate whatever you are taking. You need to insulate. Okay. No, ma'am. Temperature won't be fixed. It will only insulate. If you don't fix the temperature, it will not. No. Temperature it will only insulate from the surrounding, and temperature will not be fixed. Yeah. Yeah. Participants, Preeti has again shared the list for the attendance for today's afternoon attendance. Please mark your attendance. And in the meantime, I think I will demonstrate the problem. So I will share my screen. Okay. So let me demonstrate the problem to you, the coffee problem. Okay, thermochemistry.
My answer is correct.
Let me see your answer. I didn't see your answer.
14.53 is okay.
Oh yeah, I think it's okay. Yes, sir. That's correct. Yeah. So can you demonstrate if you are willing to do it, so, Xavier sir?
Shall I do it?
Yeah. Yes. Please. Yeah. I'll unshare my screen. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Please do it, sir. I will do another problem. I will do the coolant problem. Okay. So first you can show the calculation and then you can show the
Calculation I didn't do it on screen, ma'am. Can I illustrate by saying it? I don't do it on screen.
yeah. You please share your screen and then you can present.
If my screen is visible to everyone?
No, not yet actually.
Yes, the heat lost by the coffee is equal to the heat gained by the milk, I hope. So here the temperature change for the coffee is 5 degrees Celsius. So mass is 250 grams. So 250 grams multiplied by 4.186 given in the problem into 5. You will get 5.232 kilojoules. So further we can divide it by 4.186 multiplied by 86. That is the temperature change for the milk because it is from 4 degrees Celsius to reach 90 degrees Celsius. That is the equilibrium temperature of these two. So you will get again when you divide the total heat lost by this 4.186 multiplied by 86, you will get 14.53 ml of milk to be added to get the temperature to 90 degrees Celsius. I just already added in Erlenmeyer flask both 250 ml of coffee from the stock and as well 4 ml of milk. So I'm just checking the temperature. The temperature is shown as 90.28 degrees Celsius.
Sir, actually you did calculations and all correctly, sir. There are I did it in another method.
Okay, ma'am.
So, but your experiment, you are losing that you are unable to show the exact temperature when they
Uh,
when you put that equilibrium temperature you are losing because you are not insulated.
yes,
So
I
let
insulate.
me. You are insulated.
Yeah, I have
Okay,
checked
okay,
this.
yes, yes, okay, okay, yeah.
So
Then
that is
it's
the
correct, sir.
temperature
Yeah.
stays at 90.28.
Okay, 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 yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Thank you,
That
ma'am.
is correct, sir. Yeah, that's correct. Yeah, exactly. I did it in a slightly different way. I'll just show the calculations which I did.
Okay,
Yeah,
ma'am.
thank you,
I'll
sir.
stop
That's
sharing.
nice. Yeah, yeah, that's
Thank you,
nice.
ma'am.
Yeah, so this problem is in thermochemistry and it's called as coffee problem. So it just says that you have to mix 250 ml of coffee, which is at 95 degrees centigrade, and then we have to add milk which is at 4 degrees, and your resultant the final temperature has to be 90 degrees. Okay, so uh, Xavier sir has explained very nicely the calculations and also he has done the experiment nicely. So I will also show a slightly different way I have calculated. These are this is the way, my calculations I did. So I did in a slightly different way. What Xavier sir told also is correct. Okay, so you have to add 14.53 ml. Okay, so the procedure is here. I took 250 ml of coffee in an insulated beaker set at 95 degrees. Then I added 14.53 ml of milk, which is at 4 degrees, and then you allow the temperature to come to equilibrium, which will be note the equilibrium temperature. So it will be 90 degrees. Yes. Okay, so you can see, you can perform this experiment with different temperatures of whatever you like, different temperatures of coffee and milk, and then you can give it to your students as an assignment. Okay, small assignment. So that's what I want to show, and I want to show you another problem also. Let me show you that problem. That is called as coolant problem. These are very interesting day-to-day life problems. So let me show you. It's a coolant problem. Okay, coolant 1. So problem description. So you all can also open and then read the problem description. It basically says that we have a compound Y whose heat capacity we have to find out, and then we have to compare it with ethylene glycol. Okay, so we have to find out the if it is more or less, more than ethylene glycol or less than ethylene glycol. Okay, so you please read this the full problem. It is very interesting. So, and then we have they have given the ethylene glycol's heat capacity as 2.2 joules per gram per degree centigrade, and we need to find out if the compound Y is more than ethylene glycol or less. Okay, so I have the calculations done. I'll just show you. So the coolant problem. So this is the method of mixtures we have to use to find out the uh, heat capacity of the compound Y, which we don't know any information about that compound Y. So water is there. So we have to take 100 grams of water in an insulated 250 ml beaker, and we set at 100 degrees. Okay. So click on the right click and set it, insulate it and set the temperature to 100 degrees so that it stays at 100. Okay. Then we will take the density of compound Y is given. So we have to take 10 grams. So 3.6 ml we'll measure out. And then we can't weigh because the scale is, I think it's inactivated. So we can't weigh 10 grams. We have to take 3.6 ml of compound Y in an insulated beaker again. But don't set at any temperature. Just take it in a beaker. Okay. Then what you do, pour 100 gram of water, which is at 100 degrees centigrade, into the beaker containing 10 gram of compound Y. Okay, then allow the temperatures to come to equilibrium, and we'll note that equilibrium temperature and then calculate the specific heat capacity. Okay, so the heat capacity calculations are given here. So it's just MST, that M here I've written it written in a different way. So mass of the compound, specific heat capacity of the compound, and then the temperature difference. Okay, initial and final. So the method of mixtures you use, and then you substitute all the values here. Okay, and then when you calculate everything, we get heat capacity, specific heat capacity of Y as 3.74. So the 3.74 is higher than ethylene glycol. So compound Y is a better coolant than ethylene glycol. So this is a very interesting problem. You can give it to your students just to learn the concept. It's you may not really do these experiments in the lab, or it will not match your CBSE curriculum also, I understand. But this will be a very useful experiment. They will remember, like, so very interesting. So I can demonstrate also in the virtual labs, this one. So go to workbench. So let's take all of these first. Okay. Then we will take beakers. We'll take 2 beakers. We'll duplicate. Okay. We'll rename it. This is as Y. And this is water. Okay. So we'll just move here. So 3.6 ml we have to add, that is equivalent to 10 grams. Okay. So you can see here it's 3.6 ml, and we'll take water 100 ml. Okay. We will insulate, thermal properties. We'll set it at 100 degrees and insulate from the surroundings. So that it stays at 100, and you can see the temperature sensor here, the thermometer, it is at 100. Okay. Then over time, since we have insulated, it stays at 100. Okay. So then what we'll do is we will go to thermal properties. This is right now at room temperature, that is 25 degrees centigrade. We'll not set any temperature. We'll just insulate it from the surroundings. Okay. So we'll pour. Now we'll pour. This water is at 100 degrees. So we'll add. Okay. So the mixture, the temperature reaches 93.86 degrees. And now you can do the calculations. Okay. So this experiment you should do first and do the calculations. Okay. I showed it in a reverse way, but after doing this step, after getting the final temperature, then you can go back and do the calculations. Okay. So these are, I'll show the calculations again. So this is how I did. Yeah. So I hope it will be useful for you. Is that okay, all of you? Okay. Yeah, someone is asking some questions. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, that is how we can solve a lot of problems. And one more thing I want to ask you, I already asked you in the chat window. So any of you, like you all know FET simulations, because we want to know if any of you are interested, or how many of you are interested in taking the FET simulation workshop if we conduct. So FET simulations are available, the tutorials are available on our website. So I can show you the tutorials. So
Yes,
FET
ma'am.
simulations are very, very useful. They are very interactive, and it covers all the subjects. Like there are around 125 simulations which cover physics, chemistry, mathematics, lots of other, geography. So we have made, we have created tutorials on how to use them actually, so with examples. So a lot of examples are given. So if you are willing, and I want to know how many of you are willing, maybe we can give it in the feedback form as a question. You please answer that. All of you, tomorrow we'll share the feedback form. So in that you can answer, and then we'll get to know how many of you are interested, and we can organize one workshop on this. Okay. So apart from FET simulations, we also have, for chemistry teachers, we have chemistry and mathematics. We have Axon Physics. We have applications of GeoGebra for mathematics. Axon Physics are there. Then for chemistry, we have Avogadro, and then we have JMOL application, 3D viewer for chemical structures. So all that are available. So maybe we can tomorrow, maybe Madhuri will take another session to introduce you all to these different software. So then maybe we can organize another session for you all. Okay, so I'll stop sharing my screen.